We're inside the Bears Den with another big week of Miles football. A.A. Moore here with you with the coach, Sam Shade. And, Coach, coming into this week, you're 0-2, but you've got Lane on the schedule. First conference game, I'm sure that you were telling your guys, hey, we really need to get this one.
Absolutely. First home game, first conference game, first home game. You know, we want to come out and have a good showing in front of our fans. And I appreciate our fans, man. Our fans have traveled. They've gone to West Alabama. They've gone to Alabama State. They've been behind us, and they've been unwavering in their support. So we want to give them a win tonight.
Well, the Golden Bears did just that. They gave them not just a win, but a big offensive output. 42 points, 42-32 was the final. And when we come back, we're going to start breaking down how the Golden Bears were able to get in the win column for the first time. You're watching Inside the Bears Den with Sam Shade. Back here inside the Bears Den, and Coach, you start this ball game. Lane had a big win over Benedict. They're coming in, and you know they've got one in the win column. Your team needed to do a little work.
Well, you know, I knew they were coming in with some momentum, you know, getting a big win on the road against Benedict. And, you know, Coach Byron Brown, man, I think he does a great job. I think his teams play hard. They're physical. They don't quit. They don't give up. You know, we jumped out on them last year over in Tennessee, and, you know, they ended up coming back in the second half. So that's what was expected out of those guys. So a lot of respect for them.
And we had talked on the last show about preparing. You had 2 weeks to prepare, able to get some guys healthy and ready to go. How much did that help coming into this game?
Well, you know, it definitely helped. We did get a couple guys back that didn't play in the last couple games. Guys like Jalen Peterson, you know, one of our wide receivers, our top kick returner, one of our better special teams player. I know he started off the game a little shaky. You know, this is his third year with us, and I've never seen that happen. That ball just bounces right off his hands. So, you know, we talk about that. Hey, we're going to face some adversity, and our defense stood up, and then our offense got the ball and went down and scored.
Yeah, and you talk about that offense. This is an offense that, you know, struggled. It had some plays against West Alabama, but probably left some on the field. Much the same thing against Alabama State, but it showed worse on the scoreboard with only the 3 points.
Right.
But they came and went right to work today, and seemed like they had a bit of a chip on their shoulders saying, hey, look, we know we can come out here and move the football.
Well, you know, the first 2 ball games, after those 2 games, I told the team, I said, look, man, it's not about them, it's us. You know, we kept shooting ourselves in the foot in those first 2 ball games. We didn't take advantage of opportunities. And I felt like the coaching staff was doing a good job of putting us in position to make plays offensively and defensively. But we talked about as players, our players got to make plays, and, you know, we made those plays today.
Well, it starts obviously with your quarterback, Cam Ivory. He didn't play particularly well against Alabama State, but he came out today and was really flinging the football.
Right, you know, at the quarterback position, not just Cam, but all our quarterbacks, we've been preaching consistency. We got to be more consistent, you know, especially in the passing game. And I felt like this was one of his, you know, better days throwing the football. Obviously, this is just his 4th start, but, you know, he made the plays when he had to make them, and I thought that was great on his part.
We had a chance to sit and talk with Cam after the ball game, and this is what he had to say. Here with quarterback Cam Ivory. Cam, big game tonight, 18 for 28, 284 yards, 3 touchdowns. It had to feel good to kind of get unlocked after those first couple of games.
Yes, sir, most definitely.
You really got a chance to open it up even right from the beginning. You were able to find your receivers. You had Jay Andrews, who went over 100 yards. Jaquel Fells went over 100 yards. But maybe your best throw was to Devontae Abner, the 30-yarder for the touchdown. Talk about that particular play.
Yeah, Trey Al's just one of the guys, like, I know I keep my eyes downfield. Trey Al's going to continue to work. Like, he's one of the guys that's going to continue to work. So I know 1-3, he's down there. He's working.
What happened over the week that you all did not play? to get you set up for this game? Because the Alabama State game, some trouble getting unlocked offensively, but today you all came right out and went right to work.
Yeah, mostly just fixing our mistakes, the little things, and trying to just keep our heads on, and knowing that we can still go strong within our conference.
And then Gennaro Scott had over 100 yards on the ground. Talk about that run game getting together and how it helps you be able to throw the football.
Yeah, Gennaro Scott, Gennaro Scott and the O-line, they takes a lot off me. Definitely this game, they did their things.
Well, 3 touchdowns in the air certainly shows that this offense can put some points on the board. Big win over Lane. Thanks a lot, Cam.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. And Coach Cam he seemed very confident, very happy certainly to get the win, but he seemed a lot more comfortable out there with his offense.
Yes, like I said, just his 4th start here at Miles College, and we feel like Cam's got the ability, to be really good for us, and he's a smart guy. He understands what we're doing. We just got to execute better at times, and the execution was a lot better in this game than in the past 2 ball games offensively.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the offensive line, Coach. They had to give Cam the time to throw the football today. They also did a good job of opening some big holes for Gennaro Scott and for the running game.
Well, Coach Alexander, our offense coordinator, also offensive line coach, he does a really good job with those guys, but he's been preaching since the Alabama State game that our guys got to do more. Like in the first 2 ball games, we were getting to our assignments on block, but we wasn't getting movement, wasn't getting push. And so Coach, he just kept preaching, do more. And I feel like those guys really took that, and they came out, and that's the way they started the game off.
And Gennaro Scott had 114 yards on the ground, but he didn't get in the end zone. He had a couple, he came up short. But you found a young guy to give the football to, and you gave it to him twice, and he got in twice, Javante Leatherwood.
Oh, yeah. Leatherwood, he's a transfer from Alcorn, came in here back in January. He's a tough, physical back, downhill runner, and that's what he does. And, him and Gennaro are similar in some ways, but then we've got Jamari Riley. He's a guy, he's shifting, all that type of stuff. So we're really excited about our running back room, really excited about him.
But it was your receiver room that really put the numbers up today. We talked to Cam Ivory about being able to throw to his guys. You had Jaquel Fells. He had 5 catches for 100 yards. You also had Jay Andrews, who had a big ball game, 5 catches, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We talked to Jay after the game, and he was pretty excited as well. Jay, 5 catches, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is kind of a normal day at the office for you. Kind of talk a little bit about what you saw from Lane and why you were able to kind of get loose like you did.
Well, first we just had a good game plan going into the game. Quarterback, he always good. We played together in high school, so he looked at me. He know what I can do. I know he can do. The ball found me.
Offensively, the first couple of games, it just wasn't in sync. But tonight, you are able to run the ball. You're able to throw it. You got some good protection. Talk about the week off and how it helped the offense kind of gel and come together.
The week off, it just helped us, get back healthy, get our legs back up under us, and then, we put in a lot of plays, good work, good game plan. So it just helped us for conference play. We got 7 more conference games left, so we just looking to win.
That second quarter, you scored 4 touchdowns as an offense, and I'm sure that had to make y'all feel good. Did you maybe even get a little lax going into the second half? What happened there?
Yeah, we definitely did not come out the second half fighting like we were supposed to, but we will fix that. We're going to fix that Monday.
Jay Andrews, big ball game for the Golden Bears tonight. Coach, you depend on Jay to be the leader in that wide receiver room, and he really stepped up tonight.
Absolutely, man. Jay's really come a long way. He really stepped into that leadership role last season, and he does a great job with those guys, man. I mean, where he leads, they follow, as far as in practice, just competing. And it's actually kind of hurt us because in camp, he had an injury he was dealing with, and, the first 2 ball games, he really wasn't full speed. And, he's just a guy, if he can go, he's going to go, and those guys follow when he goes.
And when I got a chance to talk to Cam about some of the throws that he made, one of the throws that he talked about was to Trey Abner. And, man, Trey got loose 30 yards for that touchdown over in the back end corner of the end zone. Man, that was a big play for you in the second quarter.
Yeah, it was. But you know what? I thought the offensive line did a good job of giving Cam time. And then Cam bought a little bit more time by working to his right and, and Abner just keeps working to get open. He had to really run to get himself open, and just a great throw and great catch. And like I said, offensive line did a great job on that also.
He had 28 points in the second quarter. That's every time you touch the football, you got it into the end zone, and you got 36 at halftime. The offense was really clicking, and I'm sure you felt pretty good about where you stood as you went into the half.
We did, and but I knew that those guys, Lane, they weren't going to quit. They came out, and they stuck with their game plan. They came out, and they ran the ball, and we gave up some long runs that we've got to fix. We got to get that stuff fixed as we go on into the season. And, they made some plays in the passing game. Number one, the Anthony Evelyn kid had a big game against Benedict. We knew he was a guy we had to stop, and, he made some plays on us. So we got to fix some things.
Well, again, 36 points at the half. You're up 36-12. It all looked well. Second half said not so fast, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But first, when we come back here on Inside the Bears Den, we've got our defensive line coach, Eric Phillips, who's going to join us. Back here inside the Bears Den, A.A. Moore. We have Sam Shade with us, and he'll be back in just a moment. But first, we're going to talk to our defensive line coach, Mr. Eric Phillips. And, Coach, glad to have you here on Inside the Bears Den.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
Well, certainly after a big ball game and a big win, it's got to feel good to be able to be in this position. But we're not going to talk as much about the game. I want to talk about you. I want to talk about the things that you're doing that got you here and how we're going to move forward. Tell me a little bit about your career that got you here to Miles.
Absolutely, man. Well, a little bit about my career. Started coaching, man, maybe about in 2016. Okay. Started at the high school level. Actually here, locally here in Birmingham, Winona High School. Started off there, man, transitioned to the defensive coordinator. But I always had dreams or aspirations of moving up. Definitely, I'm real big on challenging yourself, and I feel like if you challenge yourself, you can change yourself. And so transition here to where I'm at, Miles this year. I came on in the spring, and I'm enjoying everything it has to offer, man. like every aspect of it, from just the college dynamics, all of just working with an older group, a more mature group, and things like that. So real big on just helping develop people and helping them become the best version of themselves. Right. So kind of help with.
And that's outstanding. When you get a chance to kind of make that transition as you've been able to make here, that's a big deal for you. But talk about how your experience in high school, especially here locally, there's a lot of local guys who play here, how you can use that to help them develop, not just as players, obviously, but as young men as they're trying to move on in their own careers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, coaching, man, is a huge part. Coaching you're basically like a teacher, and being here and locally, being from here as well, and just understanding the dynamics that players have to go through. Understanding that, hey, you still got to find a way with not having all of the resources, and being able to instill a mindset of understanding that you got all the tools you need in life to be successful, both your legs, arms, a healthy brain, right? And so it just really comes down to you applying it, right? And that's the biggest thing that I love, to help people just become aware of, anything in life, man. I'm real big on speaking things into existence. Man, I think I got to this point by doing that as well. Also applying, the tools that, God gave us as well. So when it comes to the local experience, man, again, just understanding, what you have to go through and helping mold players into helping them achieve and get to the next level, and so I'm excited, man. I'm pumped up, man. We got the win tonight. I'm looking forward to more wins as well. And so it's just the start of the journey, man. That when it comes to really seeing and growing and challenging myself as well.
And you came into a great situation here. You run into some guys who have excelled at this level, and
Yeah.
you get to come in and say, hey, I can lift you higher, as well as the young guys who get to come in and they get to learn, kind of at the feet too of this veteran group that you have. I'm sure that makes your job a little easier.
Yeah, well, man, it's always work that has to be done, and really understanding, the different types of personalities that with the collection and the group of young men I have. I was excited to get my hands on them. Coming from the high school level, I noticed and I watched a lot of the players I have now actually becoming just, excited about having a chance to coach the type of players that they are. Being able to help transition them into becoming that better version of yourself. Understanding how, when it comes to playing defensive lineman, it's a mentality. It's a mentality. You have to want to go out there and physically stop people. And you have to be mean and physical about it. You have to come out of your stands, hips, hands, hand play, and get to the ball. And this group of young men, we're grinding. We're constantly working hard every day to get better and better to where we can finish the season having a successful season.
He was just kind of describing how these defensive linemen have to kind of get after it. Man, I'm long past my prime, but man, the way you were just saying it right there made me think that maybe you can teach me something.
Yeah.
So what's next, though? Obviously, I'm not trying to run you out of here. We need you here. Don't say that at all. But when you talk about aspirations when it comes to your coaching career, where would you like to see that go?
Absolutely, man. I'm definitely looking forward to planting my seeds here. Really getting the most and making the most out of the opportunity here. Absolutely, I want to transition as well to the next level, either a Division I program or either the next level in the NFL. I'm excited about being able to have that opportunity to just go out here and work and grind and put the hard work to and let that let that come to the forefront, man. And yeah. I'm pumped, man. And just excited to see what all the future has to hold.
Well, Coach Phillips, we certainly enjoy having you here. Appreciate having you here. This defensive line has been doing a great job here in 2024, and I'm sure there's more great things coming from them, and I'm sure you'll be the one leading the way.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Coach Eric Phillips, and when we come back, we'll talk more defense with Coach Sam Shade. You're watching Inside the Bears Den. Back here inside the Bears Den, A.A. Moore, Coach Sam Shade, after a 42-32 win for the Golden Bears over Lane College. And, Coach, we talked about the offense and how the offense ran up the point total in the first half. The second half, defense wasn't able to quite kind of hold the line a little bit. There were some misplays and some things that just allowed Lane to kind of get back in his ball game. But before we even get to the second half, though, we can talk about the first half, because in the first half, they were making those plays that just weren't necessarily coming in the second half.
Right. Defensively, obviously, like we talked about, we, on the opening kickoff, we have a play that Jalen Peterson normally makes that catch and has a good return. But, he muffs it. They get the ball. Our defense comes out and comes up with a stop. They basically get the ball back for the offense. And I felt really good after that. I felt like our defense came to play at that point.
Well, we talk about stopping particular parts of the game and making teams one-dimensional. They had some trouble running the football. They were able to kind of pop off some plays, but running the football and trying to get those stops on the run, and it looked like your linebackers were able to kind of step up and try to make some plays.
Well, definitely in the first half, and that's what we worked on during the bye week. We worked on the running game, both sides of the ball, stopping the run and being able to run the ball. And we knew this was going to be a physical ball game. We showed up in the first half on both sides in the running game, and I don't feel like we did that in the second half. It's kind of the tale of two halves. We were just fortunate enough to be able to hang on.
Well, in that first half, one of those leaders was Matthew Yafando, young guy, linebacker that you just brought in this year, and he had an excellent ball game. He had 10 tackles, 2 of them for loss, 1 sack. We were able to talk to Matthew after the ball game. The young man, the freshman, Matthew Ufando, had 10 tackles, 2 of them for loss, 1 sack. Your first home game, talk about that experience and being able to play in front of the home folks.
I just wanted to come out here and show what I was capable of doing. I know we had to stop the run, and that was just all my mindset.
You didn't necessarily get a lot of big opportunities the first 2 weeks, but today you were in the mix all night long. What were you feeling as you were out there tonight?
So I just got to go get to be a dog.
When you looked at coming to Miles and having these kind of opportunities, is this what you imagined a little bit?
No, sir. I thought I was just going to have to grind it out for a little bit, but you see, I'm out here now.
So now you've got your first home game under your belt. You got a conference win, your first win.
Yes,
what is the defense maybe looking to do as we go forward here in 2024?
We just need to fix our mistakes, keep stopping the run, and just do us, and we'll be straight.
Matthew Ufando, big first home game for the Golden Bears. You know, Coach, I'm one of those people who plays on the video games, and the recruiting part of it is as much fun as playing the individual ball games. When you see one of your young guys, one of the guys you just brought in here, able to excel like Ufando did tonight, talk a little bit about how you feel and how your staff feels about finding these kind of gems.
Well, you know, it's always awesome. It's exciting when you get a young guy that you feel good about, and he's able to go out and have success like Ufando did. A couple things about Ufando, though, man. He's an athletic backer. He's our fastest linebacker. You know, probably one of our fastest players on defense. I mean, the kid is very athletic and flies around. He's physical. You know, we didn't feel like he was going to have to help us this season that much, but, you know, he's had to step up, and he's done that. So, you know, we're excited about it.
You got some good play out of the secondary, at least as far as defending against some of the passes from Lane. And one of your guys, LaShawn Young, he had an interception. There was one that was missed as well. I think it was it Hudson Davis who missed that interception? Somebody hit him right.
I know Hudson Davis had one.
Okay.
But I'm not sure who it hit. It did hit somebody.
Somebody had one that hit him right in the chest, and that would have been another one. But still, doing a good job playing center field, sometimes just manning up on your guy. Talk a little bit about the secondary play in the first half.
Well, you know, it's interesting you talk about those guys because you went from a true freshman in Ufando to Jeremiah Hudson Davis, who's a true sophomore, then LaShawn Young, who's a true sophomore. And those guys are talented. So we feel like we've done a good job going out and recruiting those guys and bringing them in. Just the unfortunate part is they don't have a lot of experience. So they're going to make some plays, but they're going to make some mistakes too. There's some things that have happened in the first 2 ball games, not just those 3 young guys, but a lot of our young guys. And, you know, those are things that we got to keep cleaning up and fixing as the season goes on. Like, we've got a good mix of older guys with talent, but we've got some young guys with talent that just hadn't seen it enough. And Lane took advantage of that sometimes.
Yeah, you look at it in the second half, and the spread was such that, you know, sometimes, I don't want to say the guys got complacent, but you look at that scoreboard and you're up 20, you're up 25, and it can be a little easier to fall back. But Lane took quick advantage of that. And when you got a guy like Anthony Evelyn, who's been around this league in a while, he's been an all-conference performer, man, you can't let up off the gas on that young man.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, the starting running back, number 10, he was a preseason preseason offensive player of the year. You know, he was up for that. And then you bring in Ike Brown, who transferred out to Tennessee State last year to a D1, and then he came back to play for his dad. Talented. They've got talent, especially on that offense side of the ball. So, you know, we kind of let up in the second half. I don't know why or what that was, but we've got to fix that. You know, we've got to play 4 quarters of football, and we hadn't done that yet.
Well, Lane was driving late, and your guys were able to kind of bow up and get the touchdown, the defensive touchdown that kind of put you in a position to be up 3 scores, and that helped a lot, especially when Lane came back and still scored again.
Right.
Talk about your defense taking advantage of some of these plays, especially the strip of the ball and the fumble in return for the touchdown.
Yeah, Keith Green, number 91, that's another true freshman that's having to play for us from right here, Henrytown, Alabama. And Keith was a guy we were really high on when we recruited, but he tore his knee up playing basketball, you know, during the spring of his senior year in high school. And, You know, we're really just now getting him back. He's still not 100%. The doctors cleared him, but he's going to be a really good football player for us up front. You know, one of those young defensive linemen, and you can tell by him just the play he made, just taking that ball away, and then getting in the end zone. He's going to be a player for us. But he's young, and we got to keep bringing him along. He's going to make some mistakes, and you know, we're happy he's here though.
It's always good to see the big guys be able to rumble in and get the scores. You know, if there was a downside other than just what was happening to players, a lot of penalties tonight, a lot of aggression on both sides, really. I know that's kind of hard in a game that's close. It was hot out here a little bit, too. How do you coach your guys up from that, away from that a little bit?
That was the most disappointing part of the game. You know, because myself and our coaching staff, you know, we coach up a lot of the things as far as penalties in practice and training camp, and even when the past 2 games, any penalties that come up doesn't have to be us. It could be somebody else. You know, we talk through that stuff, and we've done a good job with penalties in the first 2 ball games. I want to say the last game we only had 6 for 55 yards. Like the other teams had more penalties than us, and then tonight, you know, we're at home. I don't know what it was, but just a lot of uncharacteristic penalties and things like that on our part, and I'm not happy about that, and that's something we got to fix.
Well, at the end of the day, 42-32, Miles moves to 1-2 on the season, but more importantly, 1-0 in conference play, and you'll get a chance to build on that this coming week as you take on Allen. You got to hit the road again.
Yes, sir. Got to go up to Columbia, South Carolina. You know, Coach Cedric Pearl, man, really good football coach, and he's got those guys playing and competing, and you know, so they're going to be ready for us. So we got to get prepared for a really similar game, a physical ball game where they're going to try to run the ball, and we've got to stop the run, and we got to be able to run it.
Yeah, they're a little different than who they have been in the past couple of years. A lot of the
very different
players that were kind of fueling that success have moved to other locales, and we'll probably be talking about them in a couple of weeks. But, you know, looking at a Cedric Pearl team, like you said, he's been an outstanding coach. He coached here once upon a time.
Offensive line coach. When he was here, they had 1,000-yard rusher and an 800-yard rusher, so they're going to try to run the ball and be physical up front. So, you know, we got to get ready for another one where we got to stop the run, and we've got to be able to run it.
Well, that game will be on Saturday in Columbia, 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 Central kickoff. Another hot one, I'm pretty sure that's going to be.
Columbia, South Carolina.
Make sure that you hydrate. Even when you're watching, make sure that you hydrate. We also have more going on here at Miles. First home volleyball match will taking place on Tuesday against Talladega. Next week on Monday, we have another home volleyball match, and we want to make sure against Shorter. We want to make sure that you're in the place 6 o'clock over at Knox Windham Gymnasium. Golf team will be back in action as well. Cross country, they're running too. If you want to find out about all the things that are happening in Miles College Athletics, make sure you go to our website, www.milesgoldenbears.com. You can also follow us on social media, on X, on Facebook, on Instagram at Golden Bears of MC. Good week. Get the W. It's cooled down. I'll take that, and we'll get ready for the next week. So, for the coach, Sam Shade, I'm A.A. Moore. We thank you for joining us here inside the Bears Den, and we'll see you next week.